Hello, and welcome to this webinar presented by Magnetism Solutions. So today we'll be covering the Power Platform feature of Power Virtual Agents. But before I do, I'd like to briefly introduce myself. My name is Simon Rowe, and I'm a functional consultant at Magnetism Solutions. So here at Magnetism Solutions, we like to stay on top of features such as Power Virtual Agents so that when we provide service or advice to our clients, it's at the best state possible and we already know about the feature itself. So today's webinar will be focusing on giving you an overview of what Power Virtual Agents are and how they can be utilized to decrease manual workload as well as enhance your business's processes. So let's get started. So what is Power Virtual Agents? Power Virtual Agents are no-code solutions that allow you to easily and quickly build intelligent bots to improve self-service capabilities within the business, reduce the customer service workload, and build stronger relationships with your customers. So gone are the days where you need human agents to be able to respond to these simple customer service inquiries that clients might have, and now they're replaced with Power Virtual Agents to respond to them. So let's take an example of a telecommunication company like Spark and how their processes have changed when dealing with customer service inquiries. So the current process was for the client to call in to inquire about a service or product that they are interested in with Spark, but this required the client to be on hold for a long time until a representative was available to speak to them. And then once a representative is available, they get in the call, gather the details about the client as well as what the inquiry is about. And once that is done, they are guided through to the service or product that matches their needs and wants about the inquiry, such as, say, a broadband connection. If the client is a household with only two people and they don't need fast connection, might be guided through to just a standard ADSL connection. But if the household was full of teenage boys and they know that they're going to be gaming a lot, then they might be guided through to a product more suited for them, such as fiber. And once that's done, they're successfully guided to the product that matches their needs and wants. So with this process, you can see that there is quite a lot of manual work that is required. For example, for the client, they need to manually call into the Spark branch to be on hold for a long time until a representative is available to speak to them. And then with the representative, they need to get on the call and manually gather all these details, which is quite time consuming and is a waste of time for your representatives where their skills and expertise can be used elsewhere to create more value for the business. So if we look at the process to be with a Power Virtual Agent, so first you would start off by client engaging with the virtual agent, and then the client providing their details and asking about an inquiry they might have with a product or service that Spark is offering. And with that, based on the response given by the client, the conversation is led depending on the predetermined conversation path that you set up within the topics of your Power Virtual Agent, which I'll be showing you very shortly. And then if that resolves their inquiry about what they had about with the client, then it's resolved. And if they are unhappy with the responses given by the Power Virtual Agent, then they can be transferred to your human agent or schedule a callback time with the representative so they don't need to wait to be served. So if we see here, you can see that having a virtual agent is very beneficial for the business, eliminates all the requirement for a human agent to deal with these simple inquiries, as well as doing manual work such as gathering details. And with that, it also eliminates for the client to be on hold for a long time, as they can instantly engage with a Power Virtual Agent at any time. And yeah, with this, the representatives within your business or company can use their time to create more value in other areas of the business. So with that said, why would we want to build these artificial intelligent bots with a Power Virtual Agents? So firstly and most importantly, it's simple to build with Power Virtual Agents. So when you think about building like these artificial intelligent bots, you think, oh no, I need an expert to do this because I have no coding knowledge. I don't know how to build an artificial intelligent bot that I can use for my business. Not necessarily the case for Power Virtual Agents because you don't need any coding knowledge and anyone can build a chatbot with ease within hours or days. Another reason is because your virtual agent is always on, so there is an agent available 24/7 to service your customers. Say, for example, if your business only operates from 9 to 5:30 and you close after that, and there are no employees left within your office, all the after hours can be managed by your Power Virtual Agent, and they can answer all the simple inquiries as well as forward on this more complex ones to your service agents for them to work on the next day. It's also scalable. So, for example, if you're selling a product online and you're selling millions of these products to millions of customers, then if you had human agents to be able to serve all these customers, you would need a lot. But with Power Virtual Agents, you can do that with just one Power Virtual Agent. Oops. And also, it can be integrated with your Dynamics 365 environment. For example, if you gathered all those details about the client and their inquiry within the Power Virtual Agent, can automatically be sent within to your Dynamics environment without you needing to type it up all again, or your administrator needing to type it up all again. Also, with the Power Virtual Agent, you create like a personalized experience as it creates smooth flowing conversations with the Power Virtual Agent. So I'll be showing you very shortly. You can do this through topics within Power Virtual Agents. And depending on the responses given by the client, the Power Virtual Agent will ask questions based on that topic rather than all questions that is not really required for the client. And lastly, the look and layout for the Power Virtual Agent is customizable with the theme and branding of your business to match with it. For example, for magnetism, it's green and black, so we might want to incorporate that when we build a Power Virtual Agent. With that said, let's look at a real-world example of a Power Virtual Agent that I've built. So this is my Power Virtual Agent named it FlightBot because today we'll be using an example of an aircraft operation application to the Civil Aviation Authority because during the pandemic you can't operate your aircraft as often as you would need to or as you would like to. So to keep it within the engine manufacturer's operating guidelines, you send this application through to the CAA so they can approve it for give you approval to fly your plane as needed to match with your manufacturer's guidelines. So to start off a conversation with a bot, I'd like to go with hello. And then all these responses are given by the Power Virtual Agent. So these are all built in within the Power Virtual Agent saying, hi, I'm FlightBot. I can help with getting your flight operation application sorted. If you'd like to speak to a human agent, let me know at any time. Then ask you a simple question of, would you like to start the application process? So I'd say yes. And ask for my name. So I enter my name, Simon Rowe. Aircraft type. I will give an aircraft type. What is the registration number? And then it asks questions like this where, it's quite important during the pandemic to see if the operator is available to follow COVID-19 restrictions such as hygiene and contact tracing requirements while carrying out the flight in this aircraft. And I'll say yes. What is your license number? 5 digits. Where's your home airfield? I'll say Hamilton because that's where I'm based at the moment. And it also asks when I would like to take my first flight if my application is processed or approved. And I'll say Wednesday next week, so 22 December 2021. And I've also built my Power Virtual Agent to reiterate all the information that has been gathered throughout the conversation with the client, so such as operator name, aircraft type, registration, license number, home airfield, if they can keep within protocols, and when they want to fly out first, just so the client can confirm if that matches with what they have. And then just ask, are these details correct? I'll say yes. And then it will ask me for my email address, and I'll be showing you why this is asking for my email address very soon. So great. And lastly, it just wants you to rate your experience with the Power Virtual Agent. I'll say 5 because it was a smooth flowing conversation. So the reason why the Power Virtual Agent asked for my email is so it can send the confirmation details through email. And I've done that through Power Automate. So what it does is it will send all the details that were gathered within the Power Virtual Agent to be sent to the email address that was entered in by the client, just so they have a copy of their application in their email. Quite important because it eliminates like the manual work your customer representatives need to do. If it wasn't for the automate flow, then they would have to manually send this information to their client, which is not very ideal. And also with the flow, I've made it so that all the information gathered through the Power Virtual Agent gets automatically fed back to your Dynamics environment. Once again, eliminating the requirement for manual work your administrators need to do to be able to copy all that information back to the system where you manage your applications. So you can see here when you go into the application what their name is, their registration, and pretty much all the rest of the details that you've gathered through the conversation. And from here, you can press this to assign to a user or a team member. And you can also, when the application has been approved, what I've also done is to send an email to the client once again to say their application has been approved, which will be showing very soon. Here we go. Saying aircraft operation application approved, and then hi Simon Rowe, your application for aircraft and the registration number has been approved. Any issues or inquiries, please get in touch with us by replying to this email. Another manual work that has been eliminated within your process. Gives more time for your representatives to work on more important things. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've built for my Power Virtual Agent. So now we can go through and see how that was all created. If we go to my Power Apps and go into my environment and under chatbots, if I go create, it will give me this option here. When I press that, what it will do is bring up a new window where you will need to give your Power Virtual Agent a name and also the language it will be using, as well as selecting the environment that your virtual agent will be in. And once that is done, what it will look like is you in your home page like this, and the test bot here. So the test bot is where you can continually test your Power Virtual Agent as you build, so that you can see that it's working efficiently or as you intend it to. And the first thing I want to show is the topics. So topics are where I've mentioned before, where your Power Virtual Agent can branch off into different topics depending on the responses given by the client. What that will do is, say if they're talking about broadband connection, and if you have a topic about broadband connection, you can have all the list of questions asking the necessary information you need about broadband connections into that topic, as well as maybe having a topic about landlines and having all the responses and questions about landlines in that topic. So within a topic, when you go in, you can give your topic a name and also give trigger phrases. So when your client is engaging with your Power Virtual Agent, they can give these keywords within the conversation, and that will trigger your Power Virtual Agent to say, oh, this client wants to talk about operator details because they've given these trigger phrases. And then once that is done, you go into the authoring canvas. And what you do within the authoring canvas is the responses and questions that your Power Virtual Agent will be giving depending on the responses that your clients give. For example, in my one there, it just asks questions about gathering the operator's details, as done so here, about the full name, the aircraft type, registration number, etc., etc. And that can be done through adding a node and then just asking a question, calling an action. So this is where you create Power Automated flows, so you can reduce the manual work your representatives need to do. And then also show a message if you want to display a message when a certain response is given, or you can redirect them to another topic. So say, are you talking about a broadband connection? Or yeah, then you can redirect them to the topic of the broadband connection. And yeah, that's about it. And once you are in the authoring canvas, what you can also do is create variables within your Power Virtual Agent. So all those questions that I've asked throughout the Power Virtual Agent process, like full name, aircraft type, those are all variables within Power Virtual Agents, and this is what is used by the Power Virtual Agents to gather the information and collect and store information during the conversation with the client. And you can set these up within the entities in your Power Virtual Agent. So there are already some out-of-the-box ones, such as age, city. So Power Virtual Agents can identify if it's like cities, or if they're giving a response based on age. As long as you within your topics and set up your questions and you set it up as an age, saying how old are you, and then if you give the variable of age, then the Power Virtual Agent will only accept the response if it is related to the question of age. And also you can create custom entities, so such as my registration number. What I've done is create a new entity, and you have two options, such as closed list. So if your question will be very basic and you know what the client will be responding to, so such as what is your inquiry about today, such as broadband connection, landline, or other, then you can use closed list. Otherwise, if you want to make it more complex, such as gathering like credit card details or something like that, then you can use the regular expression entity, which I have done so with like the registration number. And what that does is by using these examples and methods given by the entity, you can create custom entities, such as for registration number, I made it so it'll be starting off with two letters from A to Z, followed by a dash, and then another 3 letters from A to Z, which I have done so in my registration here, ZK-RJD. So if your client responds without this format, then your Power Virtual Agent will not accept the response. You just need to make it so within your entities. And once that is in your entities, you can use them wherever you like within the Power Virtual Agent. So like I've done when I did the reiterating the information given by the client, I've done it still here. I've added all the variables in here by clicking into the question, clicking here, and just entering it in the variable. What that does is it will, when I do the reiterating information that I've done here, all the information is given back to the client depending on the responses they've given, and the responses taken in through the entities or variables by the Power Virtual Agent without you needing to type it out all again. And last thing I wanted to show within the topics is that you can create flows. So I've shown you how to do that. You go plus, add a node, call an action, and you would usually select create a flow unless you already have a flow created. And what that looks like is this. If I go into it, first you want to add in all the variables or entities that you want to use within your automated flow. And then what you can do within it is like what I've done is send an email to the client to give them the confirmation details, like I have done here. And all I needed to do is the email address that is gathered through the Power Virtual Agent through the variables, and then like hi operator name, and operator name is replaced by the operator name given within the conversation with the Power Virtual Agent, and then yeah, all the other variables within it as well. So what this does is create like a personalized touch within your email, so that every conversation, depending on what was given by the client, it will automatically populate within your email. I've also made it so I made it so all the information gathered through the Power Virtual Agent is fed back to your CRM environment. I've done it within the flow again. All you need to do is select a table that the application represents within your environment, and then all you need to do is select the variables that your Power Virtual Agent will be gathering through the conversation and matching it with the field that you want it to populate. So for example, aircraft type, the aircraft type variable will fit into that, and that's all you need to do. It's pretty much all I want to show you today for creating your virtual agent. And then what you can do is also see analytics about your Power Virtual Agent. For example, what your clients are mostly engaging about with your Power Virtual Agent, how many sessions have been in total with your Power Virtual Agent. As you can see here, we've had 28 total sessions with the Power Virtual Agent, mainly because I've been testing this Power Virtual Agent as I go, what the engagement rate is like, and how what the resolution rate is like for your Power Virtual Agent. So how many times or how many % of the clients are getting their inquiries resolved by the Power Virtual Agent. Escalation rate, abandon rate, not very good right now because I've always been abandoning mid-conversation when I was testing the bot. And yeah, and also you can measure the customer satisfaction when you build a Power Virtual Agent through, like these star ratings that they will give at the end of the conversation with the Power Virtual Agent. And then you can also see like the topics of what was the driver for resolving the inquiries, what was the topic that was most used for escalating, and what topic was it for when it was mostly abandoned. So yeah, you can manage it here. So maybe you want to focus more on one thing in the Power Virtual Agent. Once that is all done and you built your bot, you can publish it within this page here, and then you can choose from the channels available within the Power Virtual Agent, such as if you want to incorporate it within your internal like Microsoft Teams channel, then you can do so here, or a custom website that you might already have for your website for your business, or maybe you want to do it in your business Facebook page. Also, another thing you can do here is agent transfers, how your Power Virtual Agent will be transferring it to a human agent, how the process will be doing can be managed within here. Security, who you choose to be sharing to collaborate on your Power Virtual Agent, and maybe you want to verify like a user before you give their details through Power Virtual Agent. You can do so within here as well. And yeah, that's about it for what I wanted to show you today about Power Virtual Agents. So to conclude, I have shown you how to create a Power Virtual Agent and how it can be used to eliminate a huge portion of manual work that your business carries out, such as sending automatic emails for confirmations, sending emails when an application is sorted, and also sending all that information gathered through your Power Virtual Agent straight to your Dynamics environment. Very important so that your representatives can spend their time elsewhere within the business to create more value rather than spending their time doing manual work like this, which can all be done with flows and Power Virtual Agents. So another important thing I've mentioned is that the Power Virtual Agents are available 24/7. Quite important for businesses to be available to their clients today, especially during times like the pandemic, so they can reach out to you guys when and where they would like to. So give Power Virtual Agents a go, and if you have any questions or inquiries, please get in touch with us at Magnetism Solutions when you are building your Power Virtual Agent. Thank you.